In the early 21st century, Tyrell Corporation created humanoid robots called replicants with incredible abilities. Still, after a violent uprising, these replicants were deemed illegal, and a special police force called the Blade Runners was created which aimed to eliminate or retire these robots. In the year 2019, a retired Blade Runner named Rick is interrupted while he is enjoying his food by Officer Gaff, who is a fan of creating origami figures. He tells Rick that Captain Bryant has called him. Afterwards, Rick is told that 4 dangerous replicants have escaped after killing an officer. 6 replicants had returned to Earth from space for crimes, and out of them, 2 were killed but 4 managed to successfully escape. To test whether they had infiltrated the police, everyone was tested, during which Leon was identified, but he killed the interrogation officer and escaped. Rick then goes to the Tyrell Corporation, where he meets the head of the company named Dr. Eldon Tyrell and his assistant Rachael. The doctor requests Rick to check his assistant, as he wants to see if this test is any effective. Rick fulfills his request and afterwards tells Dr. Tyrell that Rachael is a replicant. Dr. Tyrell agrees and tells him that they have implanted memories in her, and she now thinks she is a human. While going through Rick's stuff at his apartment, Rick meets Leon, but he fails to catch him. Leon then goes along with his companion Roy to a man who they think created their eyes. They torture him and ask about their creator, Dr. Tyrell's location. The man fails to answer their exact answer, but points them towards J.F. Sebastian, the genetic engineer. When Rick returns home, he finds Rachael waiting for him. She wishes to prove that she is a human, but Rick asks her about her memories, which he already knows. He then reveals that those memories are not hers, but actually Dr. Tyrell's niece, and hence he knows them. Rachael gets very upset after hearing this, so Rick tries to calm her down. On the other hand, one of the escaped humanoids reaches J.F. Sebastian's house, and she tricks him into letting her enter. Rick contemplates about Rachael and his own memories, and then thinks about the unicorn which he sometimes sees. He then examines the scale and pictures he found from Leon's house and identifies a woman in the background. He compares her scales to the one found in Leon's apartment to determine if she might be a replicant. He soon learns that this is a locally manufactured snake scale and goes to a snake scale manufacturer who tells Rick that he sold it to Taffy Lewis from Chinatown. Rick tracks down and interrogates Taffy Lewis in a crowded club, but Taffy denies any knowledge of the woman in the photograph. Rick then invites Rachael, but she turns down his invitation as she doesn't like such places. After the performance, Rick goes backstage to Mrs. Salmon's dressing room, where he tries to inspect the room for potential openings through which someone could peer in. Mrs. Salmon is skeptical, but she lets him continue as she goes to take a shower. However, she unexpectedly attacks him, and it's revealed that she is actually Zora, one of the replicants, whom Rick must kill. Zora tries to run away, but Rick shoots her several times. Leon observes the scene from a distance as his companion dies. Later, Rick buys some alcohol and is summoned by Captain Bryant, who praises his progress and says that now only 4 replicants remain, which makes Rick correct him, but Bryant mentions that he must now add Rachael to the list, as well as she is a replicant and is now on the loose. Afterwards, Rick spots Rachael from a distance, but she leaves without meeting him. Just then, Leon comes and slams Rick against a car. He demands to know his life expectancy and shares his birth year, which is 2017. Rick tells him that he can only live for 4 years, as that's how long humanoids live. Leon takes out his gun and tells Rick that he will live longer than him. They both get in a fight, but luckily Rachael arrives there and shoots Leon. Rick takes Rachael to his home, where he again tries to comfort her, as she is still in shock to discover she is a robot and not a human. She then asks him whether he would hunt her if she disappeared. Rick replies that since she has helped him, he won't. However, someone else might. She then wishes to know about her life expectancy, but he denies having any such knowledge. She then wonders if Rick himself has taken the test that proves if someone is a human or robot, but Rick falls asleep. Rick later wakes up as Rachael plays piano. He is impressed by her skill, and she vaguely remembers taking piano lessons, not sure if the memories are real or not. Pris paints her face and approaches the sleeping Sebastian, who awakens and asks why she is there. Pris quickly shifts the topic to his age, and Sebastian reveals that he is only 25 years old, but suffers from a disorder that accelerates his aging. Suddenly Roy, the fourth replicant, arrives there and kisses Pris. Sebastian prepares breakfast, but he is still looking at him, to which Roy wonders why. Sebastian reveals that he took part in creating them, and thus he is curious to see them. He then asks them to perform some tricks, but they tell him that they are more similar to humans than computers. Pris, however, stands and shows her ability not to get burned. Roy emphasizes that Pris has only 4 years to live, and that if Sebastian does not assist, he would lose her. Sebastian regrets his inability to assist her, suggesting that Dr. Tyrell may have a solution. Roy expresses his desire to meet Tyrell, believing he can help. Sebastian and Roy pay a visit to Dr. Tyrell and play chess with him. Tyrell expresses his surprise at Roy's late arrival, but Roy notes on the difficulty of meeting one's creator. Roy begs Tyrell to make modifications that will provide them immortality or a longer lifespan. Tyrell states that he has tried all ideas, combinations, and possibilities, and has been unable to build anything better than their current state. He explains that Roy, who is stronger than most humans, has a shorter lifespan. This enrages Roy, who kills Tyrell and Sebastian. After Tyrell and Sebastian's deaths, Rick is tasked to investigate the case, and he soon arrives at Sebastian's home. Rick notices someone's presence in Sebastian's home and manages to enter the building, where he finds Sebastian's toys. Pris hides herself amongst the toys, and as Rick removes her veil, Pris kicks him and tries to escape, but her attempt fails as Rick shoots her and kills her. Later, Roy arrives there and finds Pris dead. Roy and Rick soon get involved in a chase where Roy tries to avenge his dead companions. Rick picks a baseball bat and attacks Roy, who appreciates his courage to engage in this fight. Rick tries to escape by leaping to a neighboring rooftop, but he barely manages to hang himself and is about to fall when Roy comes and saves him. Roy thinks of his unusual experiences in his limited lifetime, recognizing the transient nature of memories and comparing them to raindrops. Roy recognizes that his life is coming to an end and accepts his fate. When a police officer comes, Rick is still thinking about what happened on the rooftop. Rick gets appreciated for his great work, and his friend comments on Rachael's misfortune, as she will only live for a few years. The officer also comments that humans are mortal and do not live forever. Afterwards, Rick returns home, where he gets scared to see the door open. He gets relieved to see that Rachael is still there, and they both leave to start a new life together. However, as they are about to leave, he notices a small origami unicorn left by Gaff. This means perhaps Rick is also a humanoid, and just as he knew about Rachael's memories, Gaff knows about his. Blade Runner, released in 1982, directed by Ridley Scott, produced on a budget of approximately $28 million. The film was adapted from Philip K. Dick's 1968 novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? However, the movie takes many liberties and differentiates itself significantly from the source material. Blade Runner is renowned for its neo-noir, dystopian visual style, heavily influencing subsequent science fiction films and media. The depiction of a futuristic Los Angeles, with its towering skyscrapers, flying cars, and giant billboards, has become iconic in cinema. Blade Runner is not just a movie but an experience, touching on themes of identity, humanity, and the implications of technological advancement. Its influence on cinema, particularly in the science fiction genre, is undeniable. Please subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next recap.